Luna is controlling the map from the mid lane as well as the jungle side. Del Rosario even going into the jungle of Albert, making sure that his farm is very, very slow. But more importantly, knowing his position to know whether the side lanes, the gold lane as well as the XP lane, can they push up or, hey, Albert is missing. Perhaps it's better for you to play a little bit more safe.
Yeah, and that's the thing about Archive, right? When you get Archive, you're looking to set up fights with the heavy speed as much as possible. With the Boxer's case, it's not about that. It's all about oppressing with your level advantage and also getting a lot of information due to your mobility. And once you get super tanky enough, it's very, very difficult to kill you. And that's going to be the objectives coming from Team Philippines. But like I said as well, I feel like based on the drafts as well and based on how things are going for Team Indonesia, they have to stall time. They were forced to stall time to match the Team Philippines playstyle just because they are afraid that this 1-1 is going to be able to kill them. So when they reach to the later stage of the game, that is where they have to capitalize on banging that Team Philippines is going to be grouping out and be able to find an opportunity to go for the split push. This is a very, very risky approach, but it's a necessary one given that they have already lost the first fight, which is the first blood, losing a little bit too much lane control from the get-go. And if this is not handled properly, it can snowball out of control in Team Philippines fans. So I feel like they are playing the safe approach. It's a little bit long, but it's also risky because the tempo of the game is in the hands of Philippines right now.
Yeah, I feel like in this kind of situation, since both teams are trained professionally, so this is one of those things that they have trained and they're doing unconsciously, which is they're waiting for a certain power spike, whether it be items, whether it be levels. But look at that, Team Philippines, they feel like this is go time and they're pushing forward right now. Looking at the kills, 4-1, and Philippines managing to secure the mid lane turret.
Well, it seems to me Team Philippines, they are going to be coming up on top, and this is why I'm talking about of snowball effect, right? The moment you lose the early engagement, they are going to look to punish it, and just like that, Team Philippines is going to come up on top. Based on the itemizations as well, Del Rosario is in a stage where he's extremely tanky, looking to go for the next item after the Dreadlord armor, which you can see is going to be on its way.
Yeah, looking at the items just now, Team Philippines looking at the gold lead, 3,000 gold ahead. The 1-1 already has a Corrosion Scythe as well as a Demon Hunter Sword. And looking at that, the 1-1 is also preparing just in case, has a little bit of armor to make sure that he can handle CW, but on the way, finishing up his Wind of Nature. It's going to be good terms to fight against Popo and Koopa. However, I do have to say he has to be careful of the Lilia, because the Lilia is deceptively painful.
I really like this small decision ever since they introduced the new armor for the blade armor, right? Because of the upgraded one before upgrade armor, right? The item. It gives you a little bit more value in terms of defense. Dreadnought armor is slightly a little bit more expensive to get as a marksman. You want to try and use as minimal of your economy to try and get the best of value. And I feel like he needs to get a little bit more items, but for him to sustain the potential pokes on Popo and Koopa and Masha, it's very, very much needed.
It's a bargain, maximizing effectiveness by minimum spending, and this
efficiency.
Is efficiency. That is the word that you thought of for me. Now, Team Indonesia, they are in the back foot, but again, they have a lot of opportunities, but they are waiting their time. It feels like since they do have an Akai, they can definitely punish any kind of over-aggression coming in from the side of Philippines, because the moment they overextend and then Albert is directly behind them, then they can do something. Gonzalez, he could protect himself just because he has that built-in Purify, but Imam, he has to be a little bit more safer.
Yeah, I definitely agree. But as of yet, we are talking about stalling for time. Team Philippines is at a stage where they are heading towards the late game stage, and they are having so much control over the map. But they are still respecting the Team Indonesia is trying to find opportunities to go in for split push. However, speaking of split push as well, looks like they are going to try and make an attempt as well. The Numinous Blast does catch on towards Albert in that regard. So he's going to try to go for the heavy spin, but he's going to be locked in place just like that as he takes them down. Imam gets a big two-man catch, however, not going to be able to follow up as well, but they need to make a fight for this as well. Imam going to get dived in front. The Masha at R7, he's down towards the last two more bars. The Andra is going to slow his way through. He will eventually get the kill, take him out. However, he's going to deliver more pressure, but as he gets kited down and gets taken out.
right now Team Indonesia looks like they're being a little bit impatient, where just now, unfortunately, Albert did get caught out, and Team Philippines was able to dish out enough damage, especially Imam. Look at the damage he brought out onto Vin as well as CW. Make sure that they can't do anything, but right now the Lord is being attacked, and we have to see that the Lord has been slain by Team Philippines and pushing further their advantages, even though CW managing to get a kill for himself. But overall, a worthwhile trade for Philippines.
Oh, that was such a risky move coming for Villa Luna, not going back. But at the same time, it was a necessary play. Just because he died, they were trying to secure the Lord, and he was trying to provide as much passive abilities of his shield to actually boost up the tankiness of both Del Rosario as well as Soto. And for them to force the Lord right there, it was so smart, knowing that they don't exactly have a Retribution. There's nothing Team Indonesia can do to contest it unless you mess up the Retribution snipe.
Yeah, and if they actually want to contest it, this is a situation where Philippines, they are having the advantage. So it's a situation where I have the upper hand. I have the high ground. If you want to attack me, I welcome you. I invite you. What other thing can I describe?
I welcome you.
I already said that.
Oh.
I really would appreciate it if you were to come here right now at my strongest when you are
At your weakest.
maybe not the weakest, but you're kind of sort of weakish. Because
Okay.
I feel like weakest is kind of
Alright.
like a 10k goal difference.
All right.
Maybe like
Okay, fair enough,
maybe
fair
like
enough.
a
Fair enough.
2,000, 1,000 is kind of like you're weaker,
Okay.
not the weakest, you know?
Fair enough, fair enough. But as of now, I get what you're trying to say as well. So what Lafayette was trying to explain is that based on the composition and power specs of the drafts as of yet, coming from Team Philippines as well as Indonesia, Team Philippines are currently at their strongest. Whereas Team Indonesia, they haven't exactly hit their power spike. And what I mean by power spike is that the opportunity to be able to split push as well as force a lot of commitments. However, we did catch a little bit of glimpse coming from Team Indonesia composition. The Hearts got on towards the Masha, was able to dive onto Xavier, which is a hero that is extremely difficult to catch and get a kill. And getting a kill onto Xavier does slow down the overall farm of it later on to prevent things from getting super out of hand when the Dawning Light just potentially just chunks like what? 60% of your health before the fight even begins. So it's a very, very calculated risk, but at the same time, was it enough to slow it down and on top of it all, not give too much for the 1-1 to capitalize on in the later stage of the game?
That was almost a damage check because the Masha can be very tanky. He wants to see how much damage he can do, and it's enough to take down the Xavier. It's not enough to 1v5.
Yes.
So they just want to see how much more does the Masha need to be able, because again, the lower the HP of Masha going with the fighter emblem, the lower your HP, the more damage you do. The more damage you do, the more lifesteal that you have. It's just a built-in passive for the Masha. And when it comes to a situation where Masha alone, well, not alone, because the Harga will be there as well. When Masha can handle 5 players from the side of Philippines, suddenly time will stop. Everyone will look at Masha, and Masha will just say, looks like things have gotten out of hand.
Yeah, I definitely agree. You know, it is going to be disarm. Yeah, I get it. You know, hand, disarm. Yeah, I get it. But of course, when it comes to the fights as well, now I want to bring on towards a very, very important point, which is going to be Akai, where it does have a little bit of lacking in terms of mobility, even though it's got a first skill. So going for a heavy spin pin requires oftentimes either the flicker or the sprint. But this time, because it's on the Retribution side, they're able to utilize the Numenum Blast to slow it down and catch him off guard, which you did see Albert just now getting kited off from the get-go and burst it down.
Yeah, I agree. Having the Retribution on the Akai does not look nice. But right now, Team Indonesia, they managed to kill off the Lord before they get to do anything with it. So overall, a very good defense from Team Indonesia, but Team Philippines is completely fine. They're still okay with this situation because they are in the lead. About 5k gold lead, and look at that Dawning Light hitting onto Vin and Sans. They have to retreat, especially since Sans right now, he wants to deal out the damage and he still wants to save his black shoes. Albert going in, trying to get a catch, but still not able to get that good flank. Damage coming in from the side of Philippines is good, but what's even better is them kiting things away. Indonesia can't touch them.
Exactly. You can see the damage check is starting to apply as well when it comes to the power of the Dawning Light. Imagine if Imam didn't die early on, things would have been even harder for Team Indonesia. Fortunately for them, there is still very, very much manageable and healable coming from Vin. But like I said as well, Team Indonesia, they need to still somehow come on top in terms of certain objectives. They're using Albert to buy a little bit more time, but as of now, you can see that Albert is really, really struggling to get any sort of setup for the team in terms of both potential. They want to push out the lane so they can go for some sort of split push, but it's going to be very, very difficult to do so because right now, Team Philippines is about 30 seconds shy before the next Lord to come in, and this is going to be the item coming in.
Yeah, looking at Masha, already having the 3 core items, the Sky Guardian Helmet, the Cursed Helmet, as well as... Okay, so in terms of items, what is Indonesia really looking for? Because we can talk about, oh, they're looking for opportunities, right? But that is, in a way, up to chance. And in a way, reacting to what Team Philippines is going to do. But in terms of items, what are they really looking for? Right now, R7 already has 3 core items. But again, looking at the damage check just now, maybe 1v1 should be fine, but 1v5 is going to be very, very difficult. So how is Indonesia going to set up the split push?
It's going to be very difficult as well because based on their compositions, where Vin as well as Sans, they are going for more a utilitarian fight style. Basically, they're looking to chip away and hope to capitalize and punishing Philippines who are isolated. Whereas Team Philippines, they've got so much burst potential. And based on those itemization as well, probably they need a couple more items up on Sans before he can get the damage needed done to chunk down this very tanky composition. However, Popo Kupa has got a lot to work with as well, considering how tanky the Baxter and Akai. And this time, Team Philippines, they're waiting for a stall as well, hoping the Team Indonesia is gonna try and contest this. But while this is actually happening, this is actually very smart because Team Philippines tends to like to bait around this and hope to capitalize on someone who is going to be split pushing. And look at this, they are sending Vin on the side to split push and get a little bit of more advantage, but they can't exactly force the fight right now because the Angela can come in anytime.
It's so difficult for Team Indonesia right now because Imam is poking them from afar. That is annoying. They don't like that. So, but even if they try to go in, they try to engage, all of a sudden Gonzalez is there just waiting and getting all those weakness stacks and just waiting for his time. It's like, hey, you know what? I got a clear hit on CW right now. And then he just pops off his ultimate and then he's going to get a lot of kills. So they want to play from afar, they're going to get chunked by Imam. If they want to dive in, they're going to have to face Gonzalez. Look at this. Time and time again, Indonesia, they just have to take these hits because they can't find the angles. Albert is, again, without the flicker, without the sprint, can't force a situation.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And Albert needs to get a little bit big catch on those Gonzalez, which is almost near impossible now, considering that it is level 15. So he's going to be able to get out of there with one skill or attack, but seems like the Lord is going to be down towards the last 2 bar, and they get the reset. Team Philippines, they're a little bit afraid to fight this. This is kind of surprising considering that they've got so much of an upper hand, but it seems like they are going to focus on lane priority for now as they are sending the Esmeralda down bottom to split push.
Historically, Indonesia has secured a lot of Lord and Turtle Steals in international tournaments. So I feel like this is more or less just respecting Team Indonesia. Now, it will be later on in hindsight whether this is a good move or this is a bad move, depending on what Indonesia will do next. Because right now, Team Philippines, they feel like they can do this all day. But right now, Albert managing to catch out one member, Soto, from the side of Philippines, but it is not enough. The damage is not there. Del Rosario going in front. And again, looking at that, Indonesia, they finally get a catch, but it's on Soto. And it's not going to be the priority target. Indonesia does not have enough damage still.
Oh, that was so smart coming from Sans as well. Not popping the magic, the Shadow Ball to actually contest that just because he doesn't have the damage. But it looks like they are going to force the issue because Arcel is going to get caught out. Here comes the Cosmo attacks potentially coming in. He's going to make a sprint for it. Unfortunately, not going to be able to do so as R7 was going to completely kite it down in that situation.
For now, we can look at Team Philippines. They're using the draft well. This is the Ube strategy. Ultimate bonding experience. Try to come up to us at CW. 5. And look at that engagement on CW. He has to use his flicker, but Luna tries to re-engage the hard guard onto the Popo Kupa. The Popo Kupa is dealing a lot of damage, but re-engaging Team Philippines. They managed to get the Lord, and they don't want to push the situation further, being happy with the Lord and just waiting for it to push together with it later.
Oh, that was such disciplined plays coming from Soto as well, considering that he could have gotten a kill, considering even though there is the hard guard onto a CW, but he doesn't want to take the risk. Based on the positioning as well, Team Philippines, they were focusing on the objectives, which is the bigger picture, because if he died right there, they won't be able to snowball and take advantage of this Lord push.
Right now, the Lord is in mid. This is a Evolve Lord, and the damage coming in from the side of Philippines. They're just poking it out. The Lord has entered the building, and look at that. They managed to destroy Albert, try to push everyone away, but he will be immobilized. He has to go back into his base. And Team Philippines, they're taking a lot of damage coming in from Suns. Suns being in the front, trying to make sure that Team Philippines gets punished. But look at that. They managed to run away. Indonesia, they tried to capitalize on the aggression on Team Philippines, but they're not having it.
Yeah, this is very, very difficult to play right now. But all in all, great defense coming from Team Indonesia. And there was a very micro detail coming from Team Indonesia, which was very interesting, was that every single time they expect a dawning light, they tend to spread out. Just because that sometimes you don't really you are going to be on a quick in the fingers and just tap your ultimate, right? And sometimes that auto aim is going to be messed up. And based on that circumstance as well, it won't immediately lock on towards the nearest hero. So, or in that particular, if you spread off and if that happens, it doesn't hit the rest of your main. So this is very, very micro detail, but it's not noticeable a lot by common play.
Right now, it's 20 minutes and it's only 10 kills. The fight for global peace is at hand here, where they're proving they don't need to do a lot of kills to make sure that they get the victory. And right now, look, unfortunately, the Dawning Light did miss TW as well as Vin. If not, I feel like Soda will take that advantage and actually re-engage.
Yep, Albert now does have the cursed helmet. I don't think it's a major item, but if they are going to be stalled a little bit more, this is where the Masha is going to be even harder to kill. We saw how tanky R7 was, but it was easily kited from the side of Team Philippines. So they're looking for opportunities to go for the split push. They're playing it safe by having Vin for now, but slowly but surely, eventually R7 is going to have some serious damage when it comes to split push potential. However, Albert is going to get caught out as of yet. The heavy speed comes in. He's going to be able to get out it as well. Preemptive measures of the hot guns are being hovered from the side of Vin, but it's not going to be committed yet.
This is death time. 21 minutes into the game for Team Indonesia as well as Team Philippines. Philippines have been dominating the game so far. However, if they, perhaps 2 members, 3 members, get pushed out, they will die. And with that, of course they will die. If they die, it will take a long time for them to respawn. And because Team Indonesia, they have a Popol Kupa as well as a Masha, they can push very, very fast. So right now, for Team Philippines, they have to be careful because in a way, this is Indonesia's win condition. They can push very fast. They're just waiting for that opportunity. So Philippines, no matter what, they have to make sure that they don't provide the opportunity to them.
Yep, I definitely agree. But once again, Team Philippines, they are going to be trying to bait things out again. And let's see how Team Indonesia responds. It seems like they are sending the Angela up top again, knowing that they can force the fight. However, Team Indonesia, they're coming in from 2 sides. And Team Philippines, they're opting going for the challenge where it's going to be focusing on CW on the side while leaving Del Rosario all by himself. I don't think Team Indonesia is going to face check it that, but it seems like they have a rough idea on how the health bar is. Seems like they are going to check it as well. It seems like it's relatively healthy. They will back off, but San, forced to use the black shoe, and this is where Imam will shine the most. And that is going to be a big cooldown for the damage power spike coming from Sans. And Team Philippines may look to take advantage of the situation. But this is going to be a slow and sturdy poke. However, on the top side as well, we do see the Angela going to be in a little bit of trouble as well because Gonzalez will find the pick. And that is going to be the confusion we were talking about as well. Immediately, the 1-1 getting killed. No hard guns protection. Team Indonesia, they are going to try to force a fight, but they're just too damn tanky. Now, they are going to try and catch out Del Rosario, but Gonzalez is going to be joining the party as well. The Winter Trumpkin swap coming from Rosario to buy time for the 1-1, and that's going to be Gonzalez completely shredding them off, and Team Indonesia, they lose 3 just like that, and they're looking to focus on the crystal.
Team Philippines is not done. The minions are there. They're going in. They're pushing in. R7 trying to clear off the minions, but look at Gonzalez. Gonzalez is just focusing on the crystal. He dies. The crystal is just a slither of health. Can they do it? Soto is hitting it.
Oh, no.
Luna is hitting it. Double kill for R7.
No way.
Can Team
Backup protection. No way.
Look at this. Team Philippines. They're desperate for it, but they can't do it. There's no minions. Triple kill for Indonesia.
No way. They could not chip away the crystal because of the backdoor protection and the disarm coming for R7. They almost got the crystal, and this is the comeback that Team Indonesia need. Because of all this deaths from Philippines, they are going to be able to bounce back. But that was such a risky play because that was a very, very close call for Team Indonesia.
If even just one other member from Indonesia was alive, they could have probably taken 2 turrets off of mid lane, and based on that, they could have had a very, very good control of the map and potentially just win the game. Team Philippines, that was very unfortunate. They really tried, but that was almost unfair. That was almost unfair.
Yeah, that was so close indeed. But Team Philippines, they still have more chance to work with. However, with the crystals down so low, Team Indonesia, they are going to force on towards the Lord, considering that it is past 20 seconds, 20 minutes into the game. The long respawn timers on Team Philippines is not going to be able to back up in time. But Albert is slowly making work as well. Soto trying to bully out Sans as much as he can and buy time. It seems like Team Indonesia, they're going to be distracted, and that is going to be the Lord resetted. And this time, Philippines are going to be back in action to contest this.
Right now, Indonesia, they were able to win the previous team fight off of Philippines over aggression. I don't think that will happen a second time because, yes, the crystal will regen, but it's regenerating in a very slow state. Yeah, slow pace. So Team Philippines, if they get another opportunity for them to fight, then they will take it. The damage from Imam is getting more manageable now, just because I feel like CW already has his Athena shield. But right now, look at this. R7 is going after Imam. Imam is getting chased, but Gonzalez is there trying to protect his team. Now R7, that is his last HP bar, using the ultimate, managing to get a shutdown. And now Vin is very, very low HP. Philippines, do they want to go for more? Imam has died 60 seconds on his death timer. R7 with a 63. This is potentially harmful for Team Philippines, just because Imam gives so much pressure onto Indonesia, and right now Indonesia has 48 seconds to breathe.
Yeah, that's a big damage hack coming from Indonesia as well. As long as they take the Savior down, Team Philippines will not be looking to punish Sans. And because of this pressure taken off, Sans is going to be able to contribute a little more in this team fight. However, it all comes down to execution. Will Team Philippines be able to find an opportunity again, which is going to be shutting down Vin, being the very annoying support mage he is in all these team fights with the hard guard?
Yeah, Team Philippines right now, look at Del Rosario. He's been doing this all day. He has been pulling the Lord to the side and trying to bait out Team Indonesia. Give this man a shield, because we're going to a shorter break, because right now, Team Philippines and Indonesia, this 26-minute game is really pushing them to their limits. Another technical pause will be coming in.
Tensions are high. Team Philippines almost closed out the game, and that is just so heartbreaking to work, but nevertheless it was still a valiant attempt. But it's not over yet, because they were able to find an opportunity, right? We talked about how it's all about stalling for time and catching them off guard. You can see that there was so much waiting when it comes towards the Lord Pit as well, and Team Philippines loves doing it, because why? You kind of be off the map, not giving the information necessary, and if you get this information where, let's say, a 1-on-1 is off the map, and you try and sneak by and try and go in for a solo kill, Team Indonesia won't be able to do anything, which we did see time and time again, where Team Philippines and Indonesia try to take advantage of the situation of I would say map awareness to go in for the flank, which allows them to get easy pickoffs. And this time, I feel like Team Indonesia, they've got to be a little bit more respectful and open up the map a little bit more for those information.
Yeah, I feel like that is what they are trying to do, but in a situation, they're doing a risk management over here, because they feel like no matter what, they might have to risk 1 or 2 members of their own team to get really what they want, which is the 1-1 as well as the Xavier. And then it's going to be another problem where they have to deal with the Esmeralda, which is almost virtually unkillable. Same with Boxia and such. So right now, I feel like for Team Indonesia, they want to open the map more. They want to have favorable angles. It's just that they're really trying to manage to see which risk they're willing to take.
I agree. I definitely agree when it comes to risk as well, because right now they can take this kind of risk. They have done their damage check on towards the Xavier. They've done their damage check on towards the sides, because as of yet, when it comes to CC and lockdown, they have to. The only one that can actually mess up their entire composition is pretty much a Xavier. The moment you take out Xavier, everyone else doesn't exactly have the CC for those hard lockdowns. You can see Team Philippines, they're tentatively trying to dodge fights when the Xavier is down. The reason being is that they can't exactly kill off Team Indonesia, and one wrong move will get their 1-1 kill. But from Team Indonesia's side, they have overcome the Xavier obstacle for now. They have the tools, but they have to figure out how to deal with the 1-1. Technically, having the Masha ideally was to do that, soak up both the Xavier as well as the 1-1's damage. But due to how prolonged the chase has gotten, eventually the Masha is going to lose out a lot of health because of the first kill. Even with the Angela heals, I don't think it's going to be enough to compensate compared to back then before the Sky Guardian nerf, where you are, even throughout all that, you will still have at least a good solid 1 and 8 bar despite all the onslaught that Team Philippines is dishing out.
Right now, I'm trying to get into the heads of Philippines because let's think as a normal player, as an average player, they almost won the game. They just needed a few more basic attacks. So if you're really desperate, right now the Lord is up. Just get the Lord, and then with a Lord, the minions are going to get stronger. And because it's an involved Lord, everyone will have kind of an orange buff on the cells. So logically, you can end the game there. Easy answer. But I feel like they have the experience to know that that is not an easy answer, because if they can secure the Lord, that is checkmate.
Agreed.
But if they take a Lord and Team Indonesia is nearby, if they get a wipe out, the wipeout will be over 1 minute.
Yep.
In 1 minute, you're not on the map.
Exactly.
It's too much time that the Indonesia can leisurely take their time and they can still arrive in your base, and it will take you about, what, 15 seconds to revive? And then you're dead. Game number 1 goes over to Indonesia, and I feel like that's why they're being really passive about this Lord take. You want to make sure that they can get the kills first, and then they will decide what they want to do next.
I definitely agree on this as well. They are taking advantage of the long cooldown respawn timers, because as the game progresses, it is going to get better. So they don't exactly want to afford those kills. Early on, if it was below 20 minutes, it's still possible and manageable. But once you pass the 20-minute mark, it's all about surviving as long as you can, because one death can lead you to maybe a minute to 2 minutes of the fight, and that can be very, very detrimental when it comes to defending base or attacking bases.
Yeah, above 25 minutes, the respawn timers is like, what, 65 seconds?
It gets longer. Eventually,
you can cook up an instant noodle for yourself, and you still haven't revived. So right now, Team Philippines, they are really looking to play the long game, because we talked about this before the game even starts. This is Philippine style. We can do this all day. We have a lot of time. Seriously, we can do this as long as you want. You're gonna make the first mistake, not us. We're testing you. But look at that position, R7. He is on the sidelines. Sans is showing his face, but everyone else being very quiet.
Yep, looks like they are going to be hiding as well. Soto not revealing his position too much to give any rough ideas to Team Indonesia, but looks like Team Philippines, they are going to double down on focusing on the Lord, while the Soto is not going to be there. But Indonesia, they're scouting on the vicinity, but looks like there's going to be a backline touch as well. R7 looking for a attempt, but Imam is going to be able to sprint out as well, and R7 are going to be going for the disengage. But Albert, he gets a big pin. He's going to catch that with Rosario. Great Winter Chunkin dodge. Good dodge the Dawn in life, but it's not going to keep him alive because they just don't have the damage. Sun used up his back shoot. Now he's forced to go in for the retreat, in Team Philippines now looking to re-engage, calling in Soto, and they are going to be focusing on the Lord. 65 seconds on the sidelines. Albert will not have the retribution, and this is prime time for Philippines to focus on the Lord. But now, past towards the 28 mark as of yet, the Lord is getting very, very difficult to take down, and it's going to take a little bit more time while Team Indonesia looking for the point. Looks like they will give up on focusing Lord, and they will get punished onto his spin. Now, a forced dive coming from the backlines as well. R7 making an attempt towards Imam, but it's not going to be able to shut him down as he tries to become the distraction. But Team Philippines is not taking the bait, but look at how low the HP they are. The Lord is dropping very, very low. Team Indonesia, they want to force a fight as well, but CW can't get the kill. But the steal from Sun, he gets the Lord, and that is the biggest steal I've ever seen in my life. That burst coming in from Sun is going to be good, but they are wiped out, and Team Philippines, this 5-man healthy, knocking on towards the Crystal. With or without the Lord, they know it's GG. Well played for Team Philippines.
Philippines take game number 1 onto Team Indonesia. Both of the things that we said were correct. This is why Philippines, they were really hesitant on getting the Lord. Like I said, Indonesia, on international appearances, they have managed to steal the Lords a number of times. And that was impressive. Stealing with Olivia, that's amazing. But we also talked about how